What's up, guys? Welcome to this training. I'm here in a really nice beach in Costa Rica, and I'm just gonna take advantage of the nice view to shoot a training about Facebook ads. A lot of you guys like Facebook ads and use Facebook ads, so let's talk a little bit about that, and more specifically about budgets. And by the way, there's gonna be a link above or below this video if you want to learn more in depth. I just relaunched my e-commerce program where I go very deep into Facebook ads, campaigns, and all that stuff. But today we're gonna talk about what budget you should use for your ads. I know a lot of people ask about this, and the reason I know is because I'm also part of Facebook groups where I see people's questions and all this stuff. And a lot of people ask, should I start my ads with a higher budget? Should I start my ad with a lower budget and work my way up? So the first thing that I want to tell you is that there's not like a blueprint that where one budget means you will be successful and another budget means that your ads won't work at all. In fact, I believe that the budget is definitely not the most important thing. It's not very important, because if your offer is not a good offer, and by offer I mean the product that you're selling, whatever product you're selling, if the product is not good, it doesn't matter if you have a $100 budget or a $10,000 budget or a $10 budget, it's not gonna work for you, because the most important thing is the product that you are selling. And after that, the creative, the way that you are displaying that product, and after that the audiences, and after that all the other little details like the placements, the budget, and all those things. So it doesn't matter what budget you use. If your offer is bad, it's not gonna make money. So let's say for this training I'm gonna assume that you're gonna have an offer that is working, a product that people want, however you want to call it. You can call it a winning product, a converting offer. Let's say you have that part going. What budget should you use? So here's my main suggestion. This really depends on what position you are, right? So a budget where you feel comfortable with, right? Because let's say not everyone is going to have $10,000 to invest on advertising on day one. In fact, most people enter the internet marketing space, the e-commerce world, or the online business space to generate an extra income. Most people don't come here with the $10,000 in capital to invest. So I'm just going to make a scenario, let's say, where you right now you have an income stream from your job, and you're making $2,000 per month, and you have expenses, so you are spending $1,000 per month in expenses. You have $1,000 left for your business. So in this case, you gotta say, okay, let's divide 1,000 times 30, and that's gonna be around $30 per day. So let's say that you have $30 per day to invest on advertising. You can definitely start with that amount. That's, let's say, your amount. That's the amount that you feel comfortable with. And yes, you're gonna see posts on Facebook about big marketers saying that the more money you spend, the better, and that you should start with at least $300 per day and this and that. But I mean, the reason they say that is because your ads will optimize faster, you will get data faster, you will make sales faster. But it's not a rule of thumb. It doesn't mean that if you start your ads with $30 per day that they're not going to work. In fact, I started my ads at around $30 per day. I never get too excited and say, oh, this offer is going to crush it, I'm going to start spending $1,000 per day. I always start low and work my way up. I increase the budget gradually, right? So the first thing you got to do is, okay, you got to say, how much am I able to invest on advertising, and divide it by 30 days and figure out how much you can spend per day. And then once you determine that number, let's say $30 a day, you can now start thinking about your campaign structure. What's going to be your campaign structure for that budget? So let's say that you have $30 a day to invest. Now you can create one campaign, and that campaign can have 3 ad sets, and those 3 ad sets are going to spend in average $10 per day, right? So that's kind of like the structure, and you gotta choose that, you gotta create that structure based on your budget. Because for instance, if you have a budget of $1,000 per day, then of course you can afford to test more stuff, test more ad sets. So the higher the budget that you have every single day, the more ad sets you can launch, because every ad set will be able to spend more. So let's say that you have a $30 budget. You can't go and put 100 ad sets inside that one campaign, because if not, the ad sets won't spend a lot of money, right? That those $30 will be distributed or would be spread thin throughout 100 ad sets, and every ad set is not going to spend enough to get you results, because the ad sets have to optimize. But if you go and say, okay, have $1,000 to invest every single day, which is, this is not the typical scenario. Most people don't have this money, but let's say that you have this money, you can easily have, 100 ad sets inside your campaign, because $1,000 will be distributed more equally in these 100 ad sets, right? So this is kind of like a general, rule. Like the higher the budget, the more ad sets you can test, because the more money will be sent to each one of those ad sets. And if you have a lower budget, then I would suggest that you use less ad sets, like 2 or 3. It depends on the campaign budget. But the main message here for this training, guys, is that that of course people that make a lot of money in the internet, they have big businesses, they can afford a lot of money, but most people are not in that position. That's just the truth. Most people are starting out normally. When I first started out on high school, I didn't have thousands of dollars to invest on ads. I was, really taking care of my budget. I said, okay, I can invest 5 or 10 per day. That's what I feel comfortable with. That's what my budget allowed me to do. So I tested that every single day. I used that budget. I started learning from that budget a lot, and I worked my way up. When I found a sale, when I got a sale from one ad, I increased the budget, and I got a second sale, I increased the budget, and then my cash flow started allowing me to invest more money, and that's kind of like how I did it. But something very important that I want you to know is that it doesn't matter if you can spend $3 per day or $5 per day or $20 per day. You should always be running advertising, because that's the only way that you will learn. You can buy as many courses. You can think that, okay, this course is going to magically make you a super professional. But the only way you will become a professional advertiser and really be able to understand how these things work is not only by buying information. I think that's very important, because it's going to give you a shortcut. But if you buy that information and you don't do anything with that information, it doesn't really make any sense. It's not gonna be so beneficial, right? So that's basically the message. You can start low. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter if people tell you, hey, use a massive budget. You don't have to use a massive budget. Test low. Test a lot of products. Test a lot of different funnels, a lot of different ads. Once you find something that is working, slowly and gradually scale the budget to a point where you're spending more and making more. The more you make, the more you can spend, the better your cash flow, the more you can scale. So I don't know if you have any questions. Just let me know in the comment section, guys. And in the meantime, I put the link to my e-commerce program. But it's not only an e-commerce program. I call it an e-commerce program because that's the business we're focusing in. But the truth is that, like, a big part of what I teach there can be applied to any business that you build in the future, because I talk about logistics, team building, I talk about fulfillment, I talk about, setting up profitable campaigns on Facebook, which applies to any business, any type of product, any type of offers. These are the same fundamentals for everything. Like, a lot of people say that, or think that, one business has like this specific set of fundamentals and the other one is completely different. But once you really understand like why people buy stuff online and how you can create profitable campaigns and run traffic and and understand the behavior of people online, the psychology behind everything, then you can make literally anything work. You can create any business, run ads, and make it successful. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Go to sebastianmastermind.com if you want to learn more in detail, if you want to go faster and have trainings with me every single week live. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.